Hey guys, it's Anna here with the Dance of Evolving. I am so glad to be with you guys again and continue to evolve as warriors of the mind, body, soul, and spirit. Today I wanted to continue with our journey because we've been talking about, let's think about it, we've talked about our core values, how to align our core values with our most sovereign self. And then even continually having that dance of going back and observing our thoughts, our actions, our behaviors, and thinking, all right, are these lining with our most sovereign selves, with our core values that we've identified that really do drive our everyday actions and events, our beliefs, lining all of those up. And then we've even talked about that whole dance of evolving where we have our former self living simultaneously with our higher version of ourself in this higher frequency. And in a non-judgmental way, we can observe ourselves every once in a while going back and playing into these former patterns, but being able to learn from them, to work through emotions, to layer by layer surrender to the things that used to control us and to live this liberated life. So it's an exciting journey. I'm not going to lie, it's not easy, but in retrospect, when you look at it from a larger picture, is so much easier than living in a state of bondage that we didn't even know we lived in, right? So as a community, I would love for us to work together to be able to liberate ourselves, to live the type of life that we were intended to live. If you love the content that I'm putting out and the community that we're building, don't forget to subscribe and like my videos to support. And today I want to focus on how to be able to maintain and stay into this highest frequency that we can get into, because life is ups and downs and we can easily get thrown off with our mind and our spirit, and a lot of our beliefs can come creeping back. And to stay into this highest frequency it's a continual dance as well. So I wanted to talk about that today because that's something I'm currently going through. Like for example, yesterday I woke up feeling like super high about life, knowing that I felt like I could handle everything. And then as the day went on, like after I flew back here from my mom's, because I'm back in Florida now, I fell down and I realized that you can easily get off track, and to be able to catch yourself and get back into that highest frequency is really important. What I mean by highest frequency, it's your highest alignment. It's your original, most authentic state of being. So it's where you feel your most authentic self. It is where you feel home. It's you calling yourself back home. And we are all meant to be our most authentic selves, no matter where we are. If we're at our job, in a relationship with our best friend, with our significant other, with our children, with our pets. By the way, this is Stanny Poo right here. He's hilarious, so I'm sure he'll be in a lot of the videos. But our highest frequency can, snoring all, our highest frequency can be inhibited by a lot of things, and we have shaped a lot of beliefs that we don't even realize. And our highest frequency is our preferred state. It's where we prefer to be. And we have an amazing chance to step into this purpose and to step into this frequency each day and feel aligned with our soul signature, our vibrational fingerprint. I mean, to think about that, it's like mind-blowing. This is where I always thought, I truly, honestly felt like that whole self-love journey and being able to really feel love, and that love within yourself where you don't need to feel codependent or you don't need to feel that love externally from anywhere. And I mean, I'm talking about numbing anything that we're going through or anything. This is it, guys. To be able to feel that highest frequency is that love and knowing that you have that purpose, because our soul signature, our vibrational fingerprint is what we should be doing in life. It's our natural state of flow. And so how you know you're off of this is, and it's when you start to feel that forced effort in life, when things become strenuous, when you feel drained, when you are giving energy in a way that it is not a proper exchange, it doesn't feel right. A lot of times I can speak from experience, guys, it's like you're in this survival mode. And your body gets in that survival mode. Your mind gets in that survival mode, everything. And we live in this, like, it's almost like you feel like you don't want to be there, but then you feel like you have to be there. So it's like this cage that we live in. Opposite of highest frequency. So it's almost like we have all formed this belief that we have to overexert ourselves and work to the point of exhaustion to have success. But that's whether it's for our work, our relationship, our life, it's actually not the case. I'm learning it to be the opposite. So our beliefs actually can truly affect our frequency that we carry every day. And not only that, but so yeah, I mean, we can, like yesterday, I realized that I started taking on some of my former beliefs and my frequency went down. I started to feel down. I started to face fears. And quite the opposite, though, our frequency can then form our beliefs. So we can take on then that higher frequency and we can reshape our beliefs. I like to think, you know, that game where it's like you have your eyes closed or you have a blindfold on and you're like, am I close? Am I close? And they're like, oh, cold, cold, warm, 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 hot, hot, hot. You want to follow the worm. You want to follow the worm in your life. Now, obviously, I mean this with a bit of balance, okay? So I don't mean like we talked about in the video with values. You do not want to go chasing after the next big thing. I'm talking like we know our core values. We are aligned with our soul. We know who we are, and we follow the worm. We know we're getting hotter. We know we're getting hotter to where our soul and where we are supposed to be aligned, what we are supposed to be doing. And this is something that becomes easier to follow the more that we get rid of disbeliefs and our frequency shapes our beliefs that we are meant to have. So how we know we are following the worm and we are going the right way is the higher our frequency gets when we follow the worm, the less attached we become to things and to what's physical. And you can think of the analogy. I have been listening to this guy. His name is Phil Good. And he was speaking about this, and he gave a really good analogy. It's like a hot air balloon. And it's almost like when you let the sandbags, and then finally the hot air balloon can rise. It's the same way. We have taken on so many sandbags, and we have taken on so many disbeliefs that, you know, we have to be in a certain situation, or we have to be in a certain exchange of energies with someone that is not healthy for us anymore. Or, you know, we continually put ourselves in situations because it's familiar to us. So it's in a weird way comforting, but at the same way, it's not good for us at all. And it keeps us from being free in these higher states of frequency. So it's time to remove the sandbags. So this is what I mean by our frequency then changes our beliefs. We can have these set of beliefs that can kind of like dial in this new reality. And we can think, okay, well, wait a minute. I'm seeing here that my frequency is higher. My beliefs need to change. I'm somewhere that I don't want to be. I don't want to be here. And I have a belief that I have to be here. So I'm in this constant feeling that I'm caged and I have to run, this constant anguish. I mean, acceptance of that and knowing that you are there is the first step. And then thinking, okay, I need to get into my native frequency, where I'm supposed to be in life. And realizing that you have a choice. Now, I'm not talking about, okay, so like, when I work with students, I talk about like, you want to reframe your thinking with places that, you know that you are intended to show up to, like school, okay? You go to school, and you go to school and you reframe your thinking and you're present there and you find your purpose there. So I'm not saying you follow the worm and you only do what feels good, as a human being. No, you know your purpose in that sense. But saying that you don't put yourself in situations and in relationships and in general in life, you're following the flow to where you know that you are leaving a mark and you are feeling fulfilled. So when you get to this, it's like you don't settle for less. And on the contrary, if you don't believe this, you have a belief. If you don't believe, you do settle for less. So if you're catching yourself settling for less in life, you're at a low frequency. And I like to think of 3 different levels here. It's like when you think of what you're wanting in the future, whether it's the very near future or ahead. You know, I've caught myself in different stages in life where I'm always working toward the next big thing, where it's like, oh, you know, I'm going on vacation, so I'm going to get this bikini body, or, you know, I'm trying to work for this business, so I'm going to work all day, every day to try to launch this business. None of us really enjoying the process, where it's you got to think, what kind of frequency are you in each day as you are in this process? So we have I hope this situation changes. That's still so think of the word hope in general. We can all have hope, and that's a very good thing still. But thinking about just hope and just having that's still a lower frequency, because we're giving our power away. We're hoping that situations are going to change, and we don't necessarily have the power. And then even stepping it up higher than that to trust. Okay, well, I'm trusting. It's less fear, so we're more fearless. We are more sovereign. We are trusting that things will unfold. But it's not the highest frequency, because then we are still attached to the outcome. And that is what I'm seeing that I am struggling with the most. Even though I'm at a higher frequency, I'm not at my highest frequency, because I'm still attached to outcome. And I think that's what got me down last night, is there are still some things that I'm attached to for my outcomes, and instead of letting go to the unknown, and that is what's keeping me at a lower frequency. So let's talk about what gets you to your highest frequency, and that would be the no. Not just the not just the hope or the trust, but the no. Like, I know. And it's like where you know that life bends in your favor, and that the truth will be shown, because you are you're being your most sovereign self. You're being until you become. You are waking up each day, and you are showing up, and you are trying your best, and you are not being small for others or for the former disbeliefs that you have. And you have your purpose, and you know that you are making a difference. It is almost like it's that like of letting go and not having that need for control, because you know that if it pans out, that's great. That's what was intended to be. And if it doesn't work out for me, it's still all going to work out in my favor, because there's a bigger picture that I don't need to control, and that I'm just part of this. You know, I'm part of this, and I'm going to go with the flow and be my most sovereign self, because when we try to cling on to it, then our frequency goes down. So what are we saying? How do we stay in our native frequency? Well, here we go. We won't play in those lower beliefs. We just won't be part of it anymore. If we are around someone in that exchange of energy, we catch that we have to be small, or we have to beg for attention, or we find that it's just an unhealthy dynamic. And the more that you're in this higher frequency, you notice it. And you're like, ooh, no, this is not good for me. You won't play in those lower beliefs. You're all of a sudden feeling like, wait a minute, where I am does not align. Now, I'm not saying like if you're in a job and you're like, this job doesn't align for me, that you just quit and then you don't have an income for your family. You can start with that awareness that, you know, where I'm at currently in my life, where I've chosen to be because of my former beliefs and where my frequency was, I'm now recognizing in my newer frequency where I'm at does not align. Step into that knowledge, and then start to have that truth, and have more and more of that revealed to you, and then you're going to know what to do. But also be aware of, you know, knowing what you're doing without any harsh decisions. And then knowing that life bends in my favor. If I am following with the flow, and I'm taking things day by day, and I'm not feeling like I have to do all these things to prove myself, or to prove what my blueprint is and what happiness is, and you are looking within and constantly overcoming to become this, and literally actually still being until you become that sovereign version, you're going to know that life bends in your favor. And if you thought something was going to go a certain way, or if you wanted to be close to someone, or you wanted to have something in your life and it didn't pan out, it's okay, because something better is coming your way, and we don't see the bigger picture. The truth is revealed day by day, and it's revealed in a way that we can accept and know that the best is coming our way. We have zero attachments. That's the biggest thing I never knew. Like, guys, the attachments. The second we are attached to something, we lose the authenticity of our presence, of the presence that we carry with a person or even with a moment. If we cannot be present truly in that moment, and we are too worried about what we want to achieve in the future or what the past has done to us or what we miss from the past, we can't embrace that present moment and we can't create. This is why, and there's been so many times where in a state of flow, it's funny because I just started dancing a certain dance, shuffling. It's to like EDM music, dance music. And I've never been able to do it before because I've never had enough space in my brain to have that state of flow. But the more that you create room to do what you're intended to do, who even knows what more I can do and what more you can do the more we get into this. It's that exhale, letting go. And whether it works out or not, it's in your favor. So you can just wake up and more of that. Remember the values we talked about in the last video. You can have that inner peace. You can start to feel that abundance. You can have that happiness. You can start to have that playfulness in your life. You can start to have those healthy relationships with people that aren't needy and also don't have those energy dynamics where you guys are exchanging energy to see what each of you can get for each other because you have these things that lack within. It's more of, I am here, I'm bringing this to the table, for this friendship or for this relationship, and I'm here to help you grow while we're growing together. And what can we do today to serve, in this community? It's just such a lovely thing, and it's why we're all here and why we're alive. And it's like, we know that we are all here for a purpose and that there is so much more larger than just us. And so I think you can see we are in our highest frequency when we are in our alignment. It's how we're supposed to be. It's the way we're brought into this earth. And it's bigger than ourselves. So we look outside of ourselves and we really take a look at our beliefs and where we are and think, are we in alignment? So I encourage you to try to think, what frequency are you in? Try to raise your frequency each day. I'm doing it as well. When you catch yourself getting down, start to think, well, what's happening here? What beliefs are causing me to lower my frequency? And what sandbags do I need to remove so I can then again, getting excited, rise higher. All right. Peace, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you guys again soon. I'm actually going to make another video, and it is about how to stay in your highest frequency, but focusing on relationships, because I think that's one of our biggest things that kind of gets us out of our highest frequency.